Our next composer is Daniel's cousin from California. Welcome, Daniel. Tell us where in California you live and how old you are.
I live in Huntington Beach, California, and I'm 17 years old.
Do you have family with you here today?
Oh yeah, my father, stepmother, aunt, his cousin who actually introduced this contest to me, and my cousin as well.
She introduced the contest to you. Have you been? Were you in it before? He did. Were you in it?
No.
I entered last year, yeah.
Great. And how did you find out about it?
I have a bunch of music friends, and they told me about it, and then I told him.
Fantastic. Well, we're just really proud of it. Now, what's kind of fun about this experience is an experience that composers have that normally the audience doesn't have. You've been living with the creation of this piece through the miracle of your computer. And as part of the submission process, they not only submit the score, the printed music in a PDF, but they also submit a MIDI file, MIDI, Musical Instrument Digital Interface, which is an approximation of the sound that this represents as realized by a computer. And there are various setups from kind of okay to terrible in terms of what computers are able to do. And it's always kind of fun because this is the sound you've been living with. And then, so we'll play what, Steve, the first 30 seconds or so of Largo for Orchestra by Daniel's cousin in its MIDI form, and then we'll turn around and play it for orchestra. Majestic and beautiful, and all kinds of imagery might come to mind. I mean, mountains or giant glaciers in Antarctica. And what you call it is Largo, which is great. Some of the greatest works of music have no poetic imagery in the title. Barbara Adagio for strings. Were you tempted to indicate something else with the title?
By no means, no, not at all.
Talk to us about what Largo means, how the piece came into your mind.
Alright, so the Largo, it just means slow, really, like really slow. The piece, it started with the piano, just a F sharp major chord. And then I gradually sort of just realized, well, there's this Shostakovich 8th Symphony, there's this English horn solo where the strings are just playing tremolo and the English horn just emerges very, very pretty. And I was very inspired by that at the moment. So the piece follows a simple arc where you have something that denotes some sadness, the descending motif in the horns, and it's sad, almost content a bit, and then there's some conflict, which we have a circle of fifths progression, and then we get to the build to the grand triumph, and what was conflict is now satisfaction and resolution. So it's very simple, but I think it's very emotional, and the last very tugging moments.
I also find it very emotional and impactful in a simple way. To those of us who live in the orchestral world, if I were to say, okay, everybody take out a piece of paper and write down the composer whose opening of their slow movements this most reminds you of, what would it be? I see Dan smiling.
I was going to say Sibelius.
Oh, interesting.
The brass section, maybe.
Yeah, interesting.
I would have said the struck lyricist.
Oh, yeah, interesting. And I would have said Bruckner, who loves to begin with string tremolos and horns coming in on top. In fact, all the symphonies start that way. And do you know where he got his inspiration? The Beethoven Ninth, which also begins that way. Did you think about Bruckner in terms of the texture?
Now that I think of it, it is very Brucknerian. I consider Bruckner one of my very top composers, but only recently so, and not when I was writing this piece. So maybe my future self somehow communicated. No, but Bruckner's a huge influence of mine, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's something like this one as well.
Okay, now you mentioned you started with an F-sharp major tremolo. We could get into why you picked F-sharp major, which has 6 frickin' sharps in it. Sorry, six sharps is what I meant to say. But, which is fine. And the interesting thing is that the violin doesn't have an F-sharp string. And so a lot of times composers write in keys that the instrument's more attuned to. Now you said that, but on the piano, of course, it's all good. F-sharp is as good as any other chord. And I think you started with both piano and harp in your orchestration.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I was skeptical of whether I could do that, but I thought...
You were not allowed to do that.
No,
That's why we...
Yeah. So I had to change the part to a harp. But the whole piece originally centered around this piano constant. So then it got removed, but it's great.
Now, I know you had a conversation with Dawn about the harp writing, and so in essence, I think you've tried to adapt the piano writing for harp, and let's just hear the very opening. How have you experienced the writing of this? Have you also kind of...
Just the fact that the tremolo is so low on the harp, it makes it really hard because the strings are vibrating so much because they're so long. So it makes it hard to play the notes so fast together.
In other words, once you play it, it's vibrating, it's hard to get back and re-articulate because it's moving.
Exactly.
Do you miss sometimes?
A lot.
Okay, but one question, Daniel, is does it now, in its harp rendition, even matter? Can we hear it? So let's play in the beginning without the harp. This is just that low, beautiful, low F-sharp tremolo. Oh, what is a tremolo? Can I just play it? let's hear it. Play a straight pitch. Now play tremolo. It has such a different texture, this sort of nervous, animated quality. Okay, so and the tuba. With the violin and cello, but no harp. The basis. Okay, here we go. Now, we're going to play that again. And after a couple of seconds, Deborah is going to add the harp to it. Raise your hand if you can hear the harp coming in. Hands up if you heard it. Did you? Oh, cool. Yeah, there's a sweet spot right in there. I think piano you'd really hear quite easily. You could put the pedal down and get a lot of resonance out of it. Here's a funny thing. You know, I look at the first two horn notes and I go, E sharp, A sharp. They're reading B sharp and E sharp, and actually what comes out is F and B flat. Which on horn is the semblance that I don't want to do. But I'm reading 6 sharps, and I think you're playing on 5 flats, right? So I'm reading F sharp, you're reading G flat. This whole thing is getting to be a lot of work for a simple result. Why F sharp?
Well, it's not the most satisfying answer, and I apologize, but what I did when I learned about this piece was I went and I sat down at the piano, and because the keys are very obvious, the F sharp triad is just very simple to play in, that's what I felt. And also actually it's a very low note for the basses, but it's not like really low, so I wanted something really low, but not incredibly low. It's low, yeah, I know. So I'm sorry.
We play what's there. Sometimes I think actually if you notated it differently, so that what they actually saw was C and F, rather than what you're thinking your way through with 5 flats, it would be a whole lot easier. But it's a gorgeous sonority you make there. Here's a gesture that's quite dramatic. Woodwinds before B, 1, 2, 3, 4 bars. Just play this for a second. It's a beautiful gesture on top of an F sharp, with that same F sharp chord that comes in the trumpets, but just the woodwinds of the one. Let's try that once again. 2 and 3 and 4. Yeah, I'm not sure, so make sure you've got the D sharp, the A sharp, it is not canceled, the A sharp is valid. 3 and 4. You actually need to you see where the 4th beat occurs, and so the last note comes just after the end of that beat, right? So 3 before B, the D sharp, concert, 3, 4. And so it's some intonational issues here. Let's take just the clarinet on that last note. Could you? Is it one of you or 2 of you last note? Yeah. And sotos. Okay, good. Any technical issues that people see? Does it lie well? Are there issues? There's a beautiful trumpet solo in the middle at 39. Yep. So Jeff, there should be a microphone right there, right down here. Tom, can you grab the mic? Okay.
I'm going to stick up for the tuba player. You're famous for killing tuba players. In fact, this is our one
we kill tuba players don't actually get that famous.
Yeah. I get an award. I mean, it's a Herculean effort to sustain a pedal half sharp on a tuba for the entire piece. And you would almost, if you're going to perform this on a regular basis, you would need to have two tubas, which your personnel manager is going to be happy about. It's really so light. If you used it as an effect and went away, I mean, I don't want to advise you how to write, but it's too much. It's not impossible because he just proved it can be done, but he's super strong.
Yeah.
Super strong.
Great. And the problem is we don't really have a good substitute. Thank you for sticking up for the tuba players. In this case, there's only one, so he's actually not sacrificable. But we don't have a good substitute. I mean, the basses are in that octave. We don't. A bar 4. So, yeah, we're just gonna trade. It's interesting. Same edge, but such a different color. So that's a change we would notice, but it's an option. Lawrence, can you play that note? That low concert F sharp? Perfect in theory, right? Who's got it? Kevin? Okay, the horns can play it, but it's nothing we'd really want to listen to. So that's it. You're out of options. So, was that? Yeah, organ, right. That's kind of what you're going for, is an organ kind of sonority, right? A beautiful piece. Yeah, creates a kind of sacred space that's really beautiful.
Just a thought, Chris, and Dan, what, you're going for that big fat sound, and I know G flat sounds great on piano. I mean, when you start, I can hear it rolling as a truck. What if you move the whole thing up a half step?
Okay, let's play that half step. Here we go. Oh, rhetorical question.
On the brass end, it would ring, and I think for the whole band, it would ring a little bit. Like you're hearing in G flat, it actually might resonate more with the orchestra in G.
I think you're absolutely right, Jeff. And I think it would just be more comfortable for a lot of reasons. And even that half step might be some relief for you in the tuba, right? If he gets a thumbs up on that. But we probably could do it. If we had time, we would. But the thing is that you can push a button on your computer and it all goes up a half step. But it doesn't work that way with orchestra. And it would sound like it would be like, oh, push a button, sounds exactly the same.
For a string instrument, the G will open up the sound big time. Because an F sharp is a really weak note.
It's a weak note in the oboe. I'm an oboe player. It tends to be weak on the winds. I've not used sopranos, but oboe players like me, it's a weak note. And also,
We have a G string, so whenever you play a G, either
they have a G string, so even if they're not playing with a G string or they're playing an octave higher, that low G string will still resonate, and it'll give it just a little bit more depth and a little bit more color. Let's play it one more time. Any other comments? Yeah.
We have a rhythm issue at B. You're in 3/4, measure B4, and at B we only have 2 Bs and a 3/4 power. Yeah, we have 2 Bs and then 4 measure 4/4 and 1 bar.
Oh, I didn't know. Is that a 2/4 bar or a 3/4? I thought it was 3/4.
So we're missing
Is
a
B 2/4 or 3/4? B should be 3/4 as well. So bar before B and the bar of B. Thank you, Joey. And then it's a 4/4 bar. You're tied into the downbeat third bar of second bar of B, and then you should have 3 more quarter notes strung on. You're not done. So 1 before B is 3/4, B is 3/4, second bar of B is 4/4, the following bar third of B is 5/4. 5/4 twice, right? Yeah, that's great.
So the trumpet solo, you did something where you sped it up a bit, like that da 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 da. I prefer it this stable stuff. Yeah. Thank you.
Anything else, tempo-wise or?
The woodwind flourish, you know that thing? sounded like it was like a bit too fast, I think. So, let's see, what's we look at? I just have a 48. 48? Okay, yeah.
Well, you didn't write it. It would be helpful if you wrote the metronome marker. How many beats per minute? It would be helpful if you did. I wrote 48 because your MIDI was around there. Slower end of marker could mean so many things. It's a problem. It's not a specific tempo indication. 40, 44. Okay, good. So we'll take it even slower. All right. I think for the accents, let's think Booker. Think weight in the bow, use some, but not sharp. Yeah, weight heavy. With some weight in the bow.